It's been a season of novelties, new cars, new tyres, new partnerships. Ford got off to a great start, filling the podium in Sweden, but since then, it's been all Citroën. Sebastian Loeb was gifted the win in Mexico after his teammate Sebastian Ogier crashed. Portugal came next, and Ken Block blew it on the shakedown. Ogier made up for his Mexican mishap, and he took the win. That means we've had 3 different winners, and each of them has won a power stage. Now the teams head to the desert, and already there's a change for the drivers. The team trucks, loaded with kit, were delayed coming into the country. So Thursday's opening day was cancelled, and Jordan has been changed to a 2-day sprint to the finish. And this is where we are. The service park is right by the Dead Sea, the lowest inhabited place on Earth. 155 miles are done, 6.5 to go. This is our power stage. It's fast, it's featureless, it's where Mikko Hirvonen came to grief last year, and you know what? It's wide open. It's his turn. I'm very happy to be able to say that the man in the studio with us this afternoon is the co-driver who survived this.
2, 1, 6, right plus opens 60, early 6 right minus keep in 20, flat 5 left plus of a crest opens 100, 6 left plus.
Yes, it's the Powys poet himself, the 2003 World Champion co-driver, Phil Mills. And Phil, I have to say, every time I see that, I think, God, your head must have hurt after that.
It did hurt for quite a few days, I can tell you, but can we have some pictures of him holding cups or something instead of doing that?
If it works out, yes, we'll do the cups next time. That was an interesting way to redesign the Subaru when you think about it, wasn't it?
It was redesigned in the new Subaru pickup, yes, not the most ideal way to do things.
That was Germany 2004, and Petter made it up to you afterwards?
We did, and ironically, after that accident, we came back and won the next 3 in a row. We did Sardinia and Japan and GB in a row, and we could never explain why we did that. Whether we were more concentrated on things, I don't know, but we came back from a few days in hospital to do that.
Somebody must have said, look, stop messing around, let's just go out and win these things.
Yes, exactly.
And today we find ourselves in Jordan for a 2-day rally, which is now a sprint, which, as far as we can remember, has never been done before.
No, it hasn't, and some issues with the freight getting into the country. It was stuck, and then the boat went down and they lost an engine, and all sorts of stories attached to it. So they lost a day, which has never happened before. Lots and lots of talk about making a 2-day or even a 1-day sprint event in the World Championship, and nobody's really had the bottle to do it. So now they've actually done it. I think they'll be looking back at this with quite a lot of interest and seeing, you know, what was good about it.
And look, the hardest working people in the World Rally Championship have to work even harder.
These are the unsung heroes, the army of guys behind the scenes, and the trucks got in at 3 a.m. and at 8 a.m. they were all up ready to run, which is just extraordinary.
And here are shots of Jordan, which is this barren landscape. And the question you have to ask when you see these stages is, how on earth do you know where you are and where you've got to go?
It's very, very tricky, I must say. All the roads were basically goat tracks from years ago, and they've been sort of made up with the rubbish from the bottom of the Dead Sea, which gives this unique surface, but very, very difficult for driver and co-driver because everything's one colour. The road's the same colour as the ditch, it's the same colour as the hill behind, and it's very, very difficult to see what's going on. Really tricky event.
And for this event, the tyre manufacturers have changed the tyres to make them stronger.
They did. Michelin came in, they've had a lot of problems with punches, you know, they've been quite open about it. They went for a very soft sidewall, very soft rubber, which gives fantastic grip, but they gave a lot of punches, so they've basically beefed up the tyre now, gone for a very hard sidewall, very thick, but obviously you lose grip as a consequence. So a low grip event from the tyre point of view, they only got the tyres the week before the event. The shakedown stage was the first time that they felt the tyres, so it'll be interesting to see who reacted quickly to the new rubber.
I'll show everybody the leaderboard in just a second because this is really exciting. But first, this is the championship as we go into this, and there is hardly anything to separate the top two at the moment. I mean, there's nothing between Hirvonen and Loeb in points. Latvala in third, Sébastien Ogier in fourth, loitering with intent in third and fourth, I have to say. So that's the way the championship looked before we start on Thursday, and that's how the manufacturers' championship looks. And there's absolutely nothing. There's a fag paper between the top two main teams, isn't there?
That's very good.
So here is a crucial rally, shortened to 2 days, absolutely no time, but we find tactics being played yesterday by Sébastien Loeb, by Jari-Matti Latvala and Sébastien Ogier. And Sébastien Loeb decides he will slow. We've seen it at the end of a stage before, Phil, but yeah. This is the champion slowing in the middle.
First time that I can ever remember it's done. Normally it's done in the last kilometre or so, but he did it in the middle of a 40-odd kilometre stage.
But why?
He did it because he knew that Ogier was 4 minutes in front of him, and he knew that he'd be following his split times. So he did it right in the early part of the stage, knowing that he would thinking that the other guys in front of him would slow down as well, but he didn't quite get it right.
Ogier the pretender, Loeb the 7-time champion, but Ogier he goes for the bait.
He did, and he just kept the foot down and just thought, well, I'm not playing the game, so I'll just keep the foot down, pull a huge gap, and just see if I can maintain that on the second day, which looks like that is going to be the case.
And the gap this morning was 31 seconds, but there's another guy involved in this, who's Jari-Matti Latvala, the man with the weird spectacles, who slows down as well.
He slowed down as well, but he got it just right, got himself a lovely road position for the second day. He's got a cleanish sort of road, and boy, is he going to capitalise on that in the second day. And he has just got one thing to do, which is go absolutely flat out on the second day. And some big times coming in from him.
Still love those glasses. Today is where it all picks up again today, and Sébastien Loeb is left with this challenge of making up a lot of time with not much road left. He doesn't want to be leading the rally. He's got time he needs to make up, but he's only got the 1 day to do it. And here we see Sébastien Ogier and Jari-Matti Latvala locked in this battle this morning. Ogier has to go today.
He does. There's only one thing he can do. He's first car on the road. He's cleaning the road for everybody else. It's a really bad place, Jordan, for road cleaning. The difference between the first and the sixth car can be a couple of seconds in the wrong places. And it's very twisty on the second day.
As Petter proved. Because that, after having been the showman of our final Sunday, is on the phone to the AA to say, I've carked it and been silly.
Yeah, I must say, though, after all the rallies that he's done, that's a very unusual mistake. I know we've just seen the clip from 2004, but it is an unusual mistake. And you don't see the guys in the top 10 making mistakes like that very often. So we'll have to wait to hear exactly what happened. It's only just happened. It may be something broke on the steering. We don't know. But it's very unusual.
The point is, Phil, he's not there for the final stage. So when we look at the leaderboard here, there's no Petter Solberg there, your old driver. This is the way the leaderboard looks, and it is wide open because, with one stage to go, the power stage, it is Jari-Matti Latvala who leads. Sébastien Ogier is half a second behind, and Loeb finds himself almost 28 seconds behind, with Hirvonen with work to do, and Matthew Wilson in 5th place as well. Let's go to Jordan, and you know what? This place is biblical. There's going to be a new king. Let's join Paul King and Julian Porter.
So just one stage to go, and this is what baptism site looks like from our helicopter. 10.5 kilometres of fast, hard-packed gravel across the lowest point on the planet. The desert environment also means the roads are open and flowing, so it will be foot to the floor most of the way. No lets up in the speed as they approach the Dead Sea, and much of this gravel surface is like tarmac. It's been bound together using salty water from the Dead Sea and baked rock hard in the sun. The speeds will drop as the cars fall into this dry riverbed, or wadi as it's known locally. Then it's back on the accelerator to the finish, and maybe, if you're quick enough, 3 power stage bonus points. And here are the drivers competing for those points. First on the road is Norway's Mads Østberg in the Ford Fiesta. Then comes the leading SWRC runner Bernardo Sosa. The WRC Fiesta of Henning Solberg comes next. He's followed by Dutchman Dennis Kuipers and Munchie's Ford driver Federico Balagra. Then it's former Middle East champion Khaled Al-Qasimi and Matt Wilson. Behind him is the Citroen of Kimi Räikkönen. Mikko Hirvonen is the first of Ford's Finns. No Petter Solberg, of course, as we've just seen. So then it's our final three, all fighting for the overall rally win. The new leader, Jari-Matti Latvala, Sebastian Loeb, and then Sebastian Ogier. As we've heard, he's just slipped to second place. It has been quite a morning so far, and, well, I have to say, this is definitely the closest finish we've had so far this season, and certainly the closest finish I can remember in quite a while.
It is the closest finish, 0.5 at the moment between them. There'll be some nerves in that regroup just as they're waiting. Ogier has just dropped behind. Latvala having the upper hand in this stage this morning. The stage time was 5:21.7.
Yep, and this is our first man who's going to be into the stage, Norwegian driver for the M Sport Stobart team, Mads Osberg. Away we go, and just look at that surface there.
That's it, this is a surface that's so hard and solid. It's like tarmac, and in places you believe from the camera positions you are on tarmac. But let's just listen to Mads in here now.
Quite an incredible view. You really get a sense of just how bleak this landscape is. And here we go. You get an excellent view of the surface here from alongside Mads' Fiesta here.
You can see the plank marks under the braking. There's loads of them. It's so solid that when you see dark sections, you think it's tarmac. It's not. It's the rubber on the road that they're leaving either under acceleration or under braking.
Yeah. The other characteristic of these stages out in Jordan is the bleak, featureless landscape. It's very difficult to actually judge the road size. There is actually more vegetation here than we've seen in some of the stages, but pace note's absolutely essential. You can actually see where the road is at times.
Seeing how hard they're working in there, the co-driver and the driver.
We can have a look. They're having a few runners already through so far. Evan Brynildsen, that's Mads' fellow Norwegian. He's fastest through so far, 5:50.3, followed by Carl Kruder. They are two of the SWRC runners, and Daniel Oliveira, he's running in the mini John Cooper Works S2000 car. He's third fastest through so far. Good to see him get through to the end of the stage. But right now we're concentrating on Mads Osberg, and a view from inside the car, co-driver there, Jonas Andersen, concentrating on the pace notes.
You say Jonas concentrating on the pace notes. Look how calm Mads is inside that car. The gear lever, it's not a conventional gear pattern like you have in road cars. Pull it back to go faster, push it forward to go slower.
Yep, he of course can go for some extra points here in this rally. He's had a, well, second consecutive disappointing rally after the same problem he had in Portugal here this weekend.
Yeah, a gearbox issue off the start line of stage. I'm not sure whether that's a Mads Osberg issue or a Ford issue, to be fair, but you can see how fast it is. See just how quick it is there. Very open, very... And Mads is
very wide.
He's back on.
Well, that's just an example.
6 quicker than anybody else so far, but he's probably just lost all of that in that little moment. But this is what we're saying. It's so featureless. You can't see where the edge of the road is that easily at that speed.
These roads have literally been carved out of the desert for the rally a few years ago. Before this was just bleak wilderness. They've actually been made, as I said before, with this Dead Sea water. They're absolutely hard-packed gravel, absolutely like tarmac at times. Really, really hard on the tyres. And actually, these new Michelins have worked very well this weekend, haven't they?
They have. I mean, we had for the first 3 rallies all the drivers saying that the tyres were great in performance, but a bit weak.
Well, Mads, he is competing under Super Rally rules, but he, remember, featured very strongly in our first rally of the year with that fantastic second-place finish in Sweden. This is his first visit to Jordan, of course. He's only had 33 WRC starts. Mads still very much in the early days of his career, just 23 years old. Definitely one of another wide line.
He's going for this. I mean, we don't know really if he's got a chance until the big hitters arrive, but he's really going for it. But as I said, it looks very calm inside. Now, when he ran off the road, basically he's just trying to use all the bits of road, but the road just drops away and it's just into the ditch. He's lucky there's not been any big rocks in those ditches.
Well, this is an example of what we can expect for these later runners. They use absolutely all the road and everything that is around it, really. There is actually cause to, you can use some big cuts in these stages. It's a very Middle Eastern style of driving. It's just completely cut through the corners sometimes. And you can see why, with there's so much kind of spare room at the edge of the road. See the heat haze here. It really is baking hot out there. Really hard work for these drivers. Remember, they're wearing their race suits and fireproof overalls. Not a comfortable ride inside.
Depending on what's spec of overalls. You could be up to 5 layers of flameproof.